Dinesh, you got a family. I saw your daughter in there. I think you have three kids, one of your own and two-step, but you have three kids of your own. Um, the question I like to ask when we're having lunch with our guys is, my family left Iran. We went to Germany. If Germany was so amazing, we wouldn't have come to America. We would have just stayed in Germany because Germany's opportunity was great. But my family decided to bring us to America. What needs to happen in America for you to say, you know what, I'm out? What needs to happen in America for you to say, I'm out? And if it does get to that point, where would you go to? That would be a second option, to America.
Well, I don't know where I would go to, and I've probably come along enough in life that I wouldn't make the move. I would stay in America, in part because I think that America is still kind of worth fighting for. So even if America, in my view, kind of went down, I would probably still stay on the ship. Now, and I would do it in pure gratitude for what the country has just done for my life over most of my life. I do see an attack on the very principles that I came to America to be part of. So in some sense, there's an attack on that America. And I'm worried about America because the American dream is fragile. It's fragile in the sense that it relies upon people who believe in it. The founder said something very interesting. I think it might have been Ben Franklin or Madison. I don't remember now. But they said something to the effect that the American Republican form of government relies upon the moral character of the people. And if that moral character is eroded or lost, then the system doesn't really work. Now, by moral character here, they're not talking about religious views and they're not talking about theological beliefs. They're talking about things like the work ethic. They're talking about things like the centrality of family and the family as an incubator of those human values. We learn more in the educational institution called the family than we learn even in school. So the founders thought that this infrastructure is really important for the country to continue to be successful. That's what made America successful, but we have to keep those institutions to be successful in the future. I think that the verdict is kind of up in the air, which is to say I wouldn't bet sort of one way or the other, but I continue to have confidence in that America will pull through.
Well, so just to push back a little bit, then my interpretation of what you're saying is that all these documentaries that make someone be afraid of what's going on with America, they shouldn't really be that concerned. Because even the executive producer or person that's making all these documentaries doesn't think it's going to get that bad where you would want to move your family elsewhere. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, the problem for moving is twofold. One is I feel like a patriotic obligation not to do that. But the second is I also don't know where to go because when you say that the term American exceptionalism refers to what's unique about America. So let's talk about what that is for a minute. When my mom, who's now dead, but when my mom was in her 70s, she came to visit America. We were driving on the highway and she saw a sign on the side of the road, adopt a highway. And my mom looked at it and she's like, Dinesh, what is that? Adopt a highway? What are they talking about? And I go, well, it's this program in America where a private group, the Rotary Club or some group can adopt the highway and they agree to clean the highway and kind of maintain the highway. And my mom was like, well, why would anyone do that? She couldn't understand why anybody would think of adopting a highway. Nothing could be more ridiculous to her than the concept of adopting So there's something in the American character that takes on this public obligation of cleaning a street, a road, and private individuals are willing to devote time to do that. That's a very American thing. Or if you take a typical American family with 3 kids, it's not surprising that one guy is, working as a engineer in Google, and another guy is selling real estate, and a third guy is pumping gas at a gas station. Now think about that. In India, if you said that, people would give you a funny look, like, how strange, in the same family? Are you telling me one guy is in the upper mobile class and the other guy is pumping gas? But in America, that's normal. In America, it's normal for people's fate to be completely different, even though they come from the same family, they've had the same upbringing and the same socialization. So in America, you have mobility. People move up the ladder, but people also move down the ladder. And so all of these are the distinctive characteristics of America. Now, you don't find them even in Europe. I'm very familiar with Europe. I'm very familiar with Indians in Europe. So an Asian Indian who's in London will tell me things like, I'm very successful, but I'll always be a Pakistani. I'll always be an Indian in London. In other words, I can't actually become an Englishman. I mean, I can say I am, but I'm not going to feel 100% British. But I feel 100% American. And that tells me that America allows the outsider a full membership, which other countries don't offer. In other words, it's difficult for a Turk to become a German, for an Algerian to become a Frenchman, for a Pakistani to become an Englishman. And again, that's something unique about America. So if we lose that, where am I going to go and become a full member of that club? I can't do that in New Zealand. I'm tempted to go to some faraway place, but I don't know what faraway place would recreate, if you will, what I came to America to experience.